Yes.
Thank you for joining the Pink Link. It's your host, Marquita Villan, and to my left, I have my guest here. Her name is Dayisia. So I'm gonna let Dayisia just tell you more about herself before we get into this conversation, auntie.
Well, like she just said, I'm Dayisia. I'm 24. I stay in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm just here letting her interview me, and I'm excited to be with her today. So, you ready?
Thank you. It's definitely a pleasure. From Conyers, y'all. Like, people be coming from all over. Georgia is big. I didn't know Georgia was so big. Like,
oh. Yeah, Georgia is big.
You're driving an hour for most of your things that you have to go to out here. When somebody say Atlanta,
you're not close.
I'm like, Amaretta. That is not Atlanta.
Sandy Springs.
Okay, so let's get into this businesswoman, child of God, and leader. Yay. So how did you start this journey, Dayisia?
So I started off as a video model.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? I got into that world thinking, I want to get my feet wet first. But I can't say I regret it. I'm glad I did because it then taught me, okay, you done it, you did it. Now let's get away from it. So when I jumped in it, I was thinking of self. I was trying to be known not in the way I should be known, as God called me to be known. I was trying to get the easy way out. I didn't have no self-love. I was doing things from bad intentions. So when it was time, I was like, okay, you really need to settle down because you're getting out of control now. So it's time to focus on you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow. So I love that. You jump into it because video model. It's like you around celebrities unknown, video model and things of that nature. So how was that lifestyle? Give us a little back details, girl.
Okay, so that lifestyle was crazy. Like I said, it was a lot of sex, money, drugs. It was wicked. It was things that women shouldn't do to try to get that attention, trying to be exploiting themselves and stuff like that. And I have done that in a couple of videos that I'm not gonna say I regret it because only it made me who I am. I can look back on it like, wow, you was just that person. Now you someone different.
Yes.
So it was crazy, the industry.
Wow. So what age did you get into the industry?
I'm 24 now. I was 23, like a year and a half ago.
Wow. Okay. And so, when you get into this industry, were you looking into ways to build you up, or just be in the limelight with those who were, famous and things like that, or was it like a hidden agenda? Okay, I'm gonna do this so I can get this, or what was the concept?
It was to be in the limelight. Okay. It was the wrong ideal of what I wanted to do. It was that, like I said, that attention, that trying to be known, trying to get where the rappers at, trying to,
it's
crazy.
Majority young girls, like, who wouldn't, I ain't gonna say who wouldn't, because some, everybody's different, but a majority of people would have would want to have to be in your position, actually. Yeah. So I can see why you don't regret that, because it built you like it was a learning season. Lessons for lessons. So I get it. So to go from that lifestyle, how did you start your faith journey and transitioning into becoming the woman you are today?
So it started with other things when I was doing things that was out of order of God. And like I said, go back to the modeling, go back to the sex, go back to the exploiting myself, go back to like a lot of things I was dabbling into that I should have been, and trying to come up off somebody, trying to get to these rappers, trying to have a rapper with some money on them so I can just benefit from them. It was a lot of things that I saw on Instagram that influenced me, that I wanted to be like that Instagram model. Wanted to have the Chanel, wanted to have the lavish things.
But when you wasn't realizing it ain't them how you can come up, and you can come up with God. I love it.
Yep.
And that's what people need to know. Like, you was looking for somebody outside of you and outside of the biggest source for your come up, and you had to get into it. Like,
I had to.
This not it.
Not it. And it also, like I was saying, with self-love, I was going through a couple things when I was messing with certain people, guys, and they treated me wrong, and I didn't have that love like God has for me, and I didn't know that. So I was letting them treat me any type of way, not knowing that that's not what God has for you. That's He want better for you.
You're so right. Because just you saying that, it took me to an incident this weekend, you all. If you're watching, lady, I'm not gonna disclose your name, but she was with another lady, and the lady decided to leave her because she got upset about an incident at the bar, and left her with us. And I'm like, that is not love. That can't be what you think God got for you. For someone to do that, that's a major red flag. If you've been with this person this amount of time, or a little amount of time, you have to love yourself more than you loving someone else, or the love that they claim to have for you. And if you don't have that, you would definitely allow that type of behavior, because it's a you issue. It's not them. I'm not mad at her. It's you. Right. So it's always within you to determine what you're gonna allow in your life. Because when that happened, I was like, honey, she was wrong. That's wrong what she did, but it's you, because you're allowing it.
And sometimes you have to have accountability too.
Yes.
So it's like I was saying, like some people come in wolf and sheep clothing. So you got to learn how to, tell the difference between, is it God's, bring that person in your life, or it's the enemy trying to take you off your task and distraction, and stuff like that. So
you was preaching, because I had an experience last year. I was thinking, oh, he was the love of my life, and he was the one that was young, man.
You gonna get married?
Baby, it was a wolf in sheep's clothing, because the enemy was trying to distract this season, and I was like, everything just unfolded, and even someone close to him was like, you're blessed, because that happened so quickly for you to see everything like you needed to see it. And I'm just glad, because they was like, be mindful, be careful. And honey, everything unfolded so quickly for me. I blocked, no connection, because I had to realize that there was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and there was the enemy trying to distract what God was doing in my life by bringing that person. He would have you think, maybe this is,
this is it.
No, it was not it. Far from it.
Because your birthday was coming. Something was coming.
Girl.
So that's what happens when he do that, the mostly.
I had to you preaching in here. And she was preaching before we start too. We should have got it. So y'all could have got it too. So how was your childhood, Dayisia? Like, did you grow up in Atlanta, or where you from?
So I was born in Memphis. Okay. I grew up here. My dad and mom was married, but they ended up getting divorced. Okay. So I was raised in a single household with my mom and 3 of my siblings. So it was kind of hard when, you don't have a dad around to teach you certain things. And my mom, she taught me some things, but I still want to do what I want to do. Meaning, like, I'm not going to lie, I was sneaking out the house. I wanted that attention, the acceptance from guys. And I was doing things to give myself away because I thought it was love. And I didn't have anyone to teach me on that. And that was before I was seeking for God. I was 16, 17, doing things and just giving myself up quickly.
We're going to have to do like a different segment today, because you preaching everything I was just feeling. Like everything. And I was just telling my daughter yesterday, and over the weekend, both of my daughters, so that they can get things that I did not get. I was raised in a single parent home. My mom did get married when I turned about 16. And my dad, he was there when we was younger, but when we got a little older, maybe like 4th or 5th grade, he stopped coming around. But now he's been back in my life, to this day. After the passing of my mom in 2006, so he's been there. But I just want to say this, because I was telling my daughters, I was like, you have to get this. A lot of decisions that I've made for as men in my life, and I'm just realizing this after being in a relationship that I was in 7 years and things like that, and then just looking at where I'm at now with not rushing back into something and knowing my self-worth and doing that self-care, doing that self-love, that a lot of the decisions I made because of lack of knowledge, lack of things that I knew, or what I saw in my environment, and the choices I seen people made, maybe letting guys move in with them, or, the man not, which a man that's supposed to be a protective provider should have his things going on. Now, if you young, that's different. But when you're at 30-something, no, a man in his 30s and 40s shouldn't be coming looking to move in with you or things from you. And so just letting them get there. And I was like, that was because even my dad probably wasn't present during those times of my teenage years, and maybe things that he lacked or didn't know. So just making sure that young ladies know that, you know, the decisions you make, sometimes you're looking at the people around you and thinking that those things are okay because they're doing it, but you have to continue to pour into yourself, gain knowledge and gain that self-esteem, that self-confidence within you to make better choices in your life, because sometimes they making choices from things that they didn't get or they don't know or wasn't taught. And that's what I realized for years that I had been doing in my choice in men. And if I'm being honest, or the things that I allowed in my life when I was younger, you know, going through that domestic violence, it was lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, and thinking things was okay because I saw other women in my environment going through those things. And then as I'm growing older, realizing this not it. Maybe she can have it or they can do that, but this is not for me. And so many of us, and it was like, it's no longer about just a man. It's about a man with just because you're born a man, Hunty, doesn't make you a man. What is your mindset? What is your character? Do you have integrity? And looking at those things, and when you're choosing someone and allowing that person into your life, because that's going to be like the big picture of what you're going to be able to build with this person and have and do with things like that. So just becoming conscious of that, ladies and young ladies. And so I had to pour that into them, because I was like, baby, don't look at mama past decision, look at where mom is at now.
Yeah, because my mom went through the same thing, so it was important for me to break that, you know, that generational curse, because even me going back to no, we didn't talk about this off camera, me being pregnant last year in September, I ended up losing my pregnancy. So, and now the guy I was with for 6 years, I'm not with anymore. So right then and there, I knew God had somebody for me, and it wasn't time. You know, God got his time with everybody. So he treated me in a way, we both treat each other in a way, but I knew spiritually it was time to give it up. So I had to let it go to receive something else and for my purpose. So I knew that my sisters, they're not married yet, but they do have kids. So I knew I wanted to break that curse and do something differently. I wanted to be married first, then have my kids. So I'm trying to be a good example, especially when I have kids. I can teach them, hey, to break that. This how mom did it. This how we gonna do it. And I don't want y'all to do what I did. So now I'm showing y'all need to have a man that's gonna love you for your purpose. How he treat people around you is how he gonna determine how he gonna treat you. You know, you gotta be cautious of that too. So a good dad, leading dad, you know, a man of God. You know, because if he's not a man of God, I feel like I don't think he's going to lead me and my kids right. So that's why I'm like, okay. Yeah. Now I'm starting to know why God letting me wait right now. So.
Exactly. And then you have to have patience and knowing. And you have to have a knowing and a patience and waiting. And then, like you said, if in order to submit, you know, it's this thing about being submissive. Can you be submissive to a husband? Are you a submissive woman? Are you in your femininity and allow him to be in his masculinity? And that he has to be able to submit to a higher power than himself for me to be able to submit to him and trust his leadership. If he ain't going to God before making decisions over our household and letting that Holy Spirit lead him, then how am I going to be able to
follow?
Yeah, trust his, you know. So, so you have to know what you want and what you don't want. And when you know what you want and what you don't want, it's easier for you to remain in that confidence and knowing that, hey, maybe this is just not for me, you know, and not feeling like you just got to settle. So
sometimes what you want always not what you need.
Exactly.
I had to learn that too. So your type of stuff, and
baby,
ain't for you. Like somebody God got for you.
Yes, now if he show up handsome and good looking, now that's a plus. That's a plus, but don't let it, you know, discourage you. Right. It doesn't. So
this is mindset.
Yes, girl. So you said you was a model and things. So in that, you kind of gave us some of the details. What were the good that came out of it for you? Okay. Like, did you get any opportunities to, you know?
So the good was I met a lot of directors, higher power people. I networked with a lot of people, so I can say that since my maturity. You know, I was on time. I got good character, and I was polite to people. So that's what kept them giving me book, because who I was, and I came, show up, did my job, and left. So that was the good on it. You know, I network with a lot of people, and I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me.
Right.
The downfall was, it's hard at night, you know, knowing like, okay, this is not all I can be called for. This is just not it. You know, sometimes, and I was sitting there in bed sometimes like, this can't be all. I know I'm doing this, but it's something else out there for me. So I had to get away from that scene because it was just bringing me down. I wasn't myself. I didn't feel comfortable. I was depressed when I was in that scene.
I'm just glad that you're sharing your journey with the young ladies that may be watching this. So you're in the scene. You're in these videos with these rappers and these powerful people and things like that, where it's money, sex, drugs, alcohol, and all these things going on, and it's fun, but something is tugging you.
Something's tugging me.
And it's like this. I can remember that because I remember I was just living a good time, like going out, things like that. Even when I first moved up here, but it was like something was tugging me. And then the thing is, honey, I'll be some places and they be like, it just don't look like you belong in here. Like,
I didn't fit in. I feel like that. I used to host a lot. I don't fit. I don't go to the club anymore. I don't fit.
Right.
In.
Someone was asking me about for my birthday going to the strip club. I'm like, nah, I've been going to a bar or two here and there.
Right.
But I'm just not. I went once, but I'm like, no, that ain't me in this season. Like, no, that was the old me.
Right.
But I just don't do things like that no more.
Cause it's like with that, you gotta know that in the strip club, it's the devil's playhouse.
Yeah.
Behind that, with the money, the women getting naked for money,
and even
selling
the music.
their soul. You know, that's what that was. Even for me, like I felt like I did something like that because I was getting half naked with lingerie on, twerking, dancing, and had no business doing it. But
it's a spirit.
I didn't have this Holy Spirit in me at that time.
And when you had a Holy Spirit on you, it's harder for you to get in those type of dimensions and be feeling it like you would, the old you would, you know, when you was fighting against it, because that spirit is transferable. You going up in there and you just, you know,
lust. Yep, the spirit of lust.
And then my thing is, you know, you want to go places where guys are, but do I want a man that's up in there?
And that's, you know, and no.
Like, do you want a man from the strip club?
You do not meet a man from the club. Do not. If your man goes to the strip club and he claim he a man of God, baby, run. Because that's
you even got to watch the ones in the church that's a man of God.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Imagine, you know.
You don't want that.
So I'm like,
you just like, you got everything you need at home. What you going to the strip club for?
Yes. So on to this incident that I saw, which is unfortunate. Definitely prayers. I'm glad you're healing and you know just on that journey. I saw that you was in this life altering incident. You had been shot. Where were you shot at?
My chest.
Wow. So, and what time frame was this? Was this last year?
Oh, it was May 25th of this year.
Wow. I was thinking it was like towards the end of last year. And we're just now in July. God, we thank you. Like, girl, you are so brave.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, don't make me cry.
Girl, don't make me cry.
But just to see you here and you would, oh Lord, how was that ordeal for you?
Okay, so I was like, gonna cry. Well, I start off, let's say, thank God, thank Jesus, thank the Holy Spirit for, you know, I am where, you know, it's just to be with y'all and just for you to interview me. So I, you know, it wasn't time. So the timing, it was, like I said, May 25th at 11:45 at night.
Wow. Yeah. You was at home?
I was at home.
So it was straight?
I was coming back from school, and you'll let me go into the story.
Oh, yes.
So I was coming back from school. I thought about hanging with people that night, and I was like, I don't feel like it. You know how you get into that mood, like, okay, I'm about to go out, and then you be like, nah, let me just sit down. So I came in, was like, okay, I want to clean up my room. I remember getting in my window, cleaning it up. I was just moving stuff around because I was about to go to sleep, take a shower and go to sleep. And 10 minutes before I got out the window, I remember I was finna take a picture on the wall. Well, mirrors on the wall. I was about to take a picture. But it was something in me. It was on my phone on Instagram, leaning on the bed, just, minding my business after I got done cleaning. And after I got out the window, 10 minutes before, bullets started flying through the window. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I know this might sound crazy. I thought it was some fireworks. Don't know why. I didn't know what was going. I didn't know what was going on because I just didn't know. Right. And then I was like, I felt something. I looked down. I seen blood. So then I thought like, okay, maybe it's the neighbors behind me acting crazy, and maybe it just got through my window. So I remember that moment like, oh my gosh. And only thing I remember saying, why would somebody do this? Who would do something like that? So my mom came out the room, my sister and my niece came out the room. I came in my room, ran up to my mom. I've been shot. So in that moment of time, I just knew that the Holy Spirit in me, I was at peace with something. I don't know what it was. I just knew I was at peace, and the Holy Spirit just said, okay, Dayisia, you're going to be okay. I wasn't even worried about me holding my wound. I was worried about my brother, my mom, my sister, and my niece. Like, are y'all okay? And in the midst of everybody screaming and crying, I was the only one calm. Calm. I never seen myself that calm in my life. I was calm. Like, it's okay, y'all. Just calm down. Holding myself. And I just knew if I would have acted out like them, I would have went into shock probably.
Right.
As I was bleeding out. And my mom, she went outside. It's not funny. It's funny now that how my mom reacted out the second time because she was outside screaming and crying. It's not funny, but it's funny.
Right.
Now we can laugh about it.
Right.
But she was trying to get the neighbor to, come to, my rescue and stuff. We called the ambulance, and they ended up taking me to the trauma hospital. So shout out to the Lawrenceville Hospital, the trauma center. I respected the women.
Yes.
If I find out who y'all are,
shout
the
out
nurses,
first responders.
I'm going to give y'all a gift because they made sure I was okay. I laughed with them. They made sure I was smiling. They made sure I had everything I needed. And it was crazy because at that moment I was like, Lord, what is it? Like, why? And I knew at that time He told me the enemy planet, whatever that was, that sent out that attack on you, they was wanting to take you out that day. And I remember a couple days before I kept saying, I don't feel like God's here. I don't feel nothing. But in that moment, that weapon was formed, but it didn't prosper how the enemy wanted it to be. And he was mad about it. And it was sent out just for me that day.
Purpose. It
was 6 shots went through the window.
Wow. So they was targeting you, or?
And I don't know what they was targeting. All I know on camera, we just saw 2 guys, and that was it. And that was it. And they was young. And I hated that because I feel like in this generation, young guys lose their credibility and respect and things they don't have respect for themselves, that they'll lose anything willing to want to be somebody and want to hang around the wrong group of people and just want to be somebody they're not. And I hate that they'll lose their life over something that's not even worth it. Wow. And they can't experience what God probably had for them because of in the midst of the moment, because they hang around the wrong people and people get into their ear and mind to tell them, probably to do things or whatever the case may be. So
just easily influenced,
right?
And peer pressure, for them, just like it was for you wanting to be in that limelight as a model, and it's them wanting to have that street credibility because they're young and not knowing. You were young and not knowing. Mm-hmm. But God,
right,
touched them.
Yes, I pray for them.
Yes, you have to for that closure, for that healing, for that peace.
There's somebody's child, and
they need it.
They're gonna need it for sure. And I hate that their mom or dad probably gonna be crying and not wanting their baby to be in prison or they don't want that. No mom want that.
Right.
So, they're gonna have to learn though.
Yes, that's so unfortunate.
So they can teach somebody else, So.
Yeah, and sometimes in those situations, it prevent and protect them from worse situations outcomes. So it may seem bad, but sometimes it's what is
good
needed.
for them.
So that's unfortunately, but yes. So I'm gonna stay on this for a little bit.
Go ahead.
Mentally, when you're how long did it take you to recover in the hospital?
It didn't take a long time, but spiritually, and it took a minute. It took I had to understand why, but God was like, why not you?
Right.
You know, we tend to ask ourselves like why things happen to us, and it'd be like, why not you?
Right.
Why I can't use you? You know.
Yeah.
So I stopped saying that and started to say like, okay, God, what do you need me to do for your kingdom? What is it that I need to walk in?
Right. So once this happened, before this, were you still modeling in the Limelight, or this situation like really like made you like that's when you actually really just stopped?
Right. I was already out the
game. Great.
Okay. I was already out the game.
Yes, because you now beginning to walk in purpose.
Right.
Wow. And that's when the enemy would try to come in, because it's a greater calling on your life.
Right.
I'm glad you received that calling, girl.
Yes.
I see the glow.
You gotta snatch it. Gotta take everything the enemy stole from you. Take it back.
I'm so grateful for your healing and what God has done in your life, because I see it. So now, what are your goals? Like, now that you went through that ordeal, you no longer know you want to be in like that limelight of being that video model and all those things and what came with that territory, because it look all lavishly.
It does.
I'm just so grateful, but you know, yes, but it's the person trying to keep up with drugs and whatever they want you to do. You know, maybe the pressure, adult pressure. You know, you talking about
touching, trying to harass you.
Yeah, because you're there and they got the money and they got the cars or whatever, and maybe a potential rapper man, or whatever, but then it ain't even that. It's just what they can get from you.
Exactly.
But they are positioning themselves like it can be more when it's not. It's just what they can get. Wow, girl, you gotta tell your story more.
Yes.
So yeah, especially for a lot of young ladies.
Yes.
So what are your goals now? What are 3 or 5 goals you got set for you now, Dayisia?
So my goal right now is to focus on gun violence. I want to go around, talk to the youth about, you know, what I've been through and how they could, you know, try not to be influenced or try not to go that route and do something positive with their lives. I really want to talk to kids, teenagers. Really want to go around the jail tour or something, or just talking to kids outside and just telling them my story about things like that. Also, what else? Okay, let's see. That's speaking. Yes. I want to continue to speak and encourage women, self-love, people my age, younger. Tell people who wants to be an inspiring model, like, hey, you can do it a different way. You don't have to do it what I did. It's not all what you think it is. So I would encourage women to do that. Thank God. I was too scared to be a dancer, even though it ran across my mind, but I was too afraid to do that. Some of me would allow me to do that.
That's good.
Yeah, so I really want to talk to kids, women, tell them about my story, even about relationships, you know, what I've been through. And I just want everybody to come together. That's the goal. That's just the goal, to just love on each other. So
exactly, and I love that you're just being transparent and honest, because you know, like stripping, that stuff pays good money. Yeah, you know, video girls and stuff. It pay. Did it pay good? Yeah, it pay well. And then you know, the relationships and things like that. But that stuff is literally the devil's playground.
It is.
And when you're in that, you'll feel that heaviness of that on you too.
Yeah, it was a burden. It was like heavy. Like, ooh, you need to step away for you get. I was digging myself in a deeper hole every day. Wow. Not knowing, stress, wanted this, wanted that, and
thought it was gonna be this lavish, live good lifestyle, and it was far from that.
And one thing I can say, I learned, I loved about myself, and this is the honest God's truth. I never had sex to get myself way up to the top. Never. I never did drugs, even though that's what come with it. I never. It was always integrity.
Yes. With
no rapper. Even though, you know, the rappers tried and wanted to directors, you know, they tried me a little bit, but I never I never went against the grain. Never.
Yes.
Never.
I love that. Because not everybody's going to be like you. They feel like, why not? You know, I did it with him. You know, why not do it with somebody that could potentially put me in a better position or maybe, and it's, okay, if you did it with Joe was a love interest or whatever, or maybe, you know, you was trying to build with the regular Joe. But this guy here, Mufasa got other intentions, and when you do it with him, this is going to be a different label on your name. You get what I'm saying? So it comes with different territory to just do it with Mufasa, the director at the shoot that you're working in. So it becomes like you're mixing like a different type of and then you get a label, you know.
Yeah, and each his own. A lot of models did, but Dayisia, I knew not to do that. I just knew because I was gonna get talked about, and that's not how I wanted to move in the industry. It's literally
like, oh, she easy, you know.
Yes, rappers too. I never had to. Yeah, never even dated a rapper.
Which rapper you work with? You ain't got to drop a name if you don't want to, but
I can tell you who I did videos with, but never did nothing with none of these rappers. I work with Lil Baby. I work with 2 Chainz, the whole CMG, Paper Route. I worked with Sierra.
Oh, girl, CC.
I worked with it's a lot of them. Oh, Jagged Edge.
Oh, girl.
Life Jennings.
Okay.
Who else I worked with? Migos.
Okay.
And
Raised Up Quavo.
Yeah.
Quavo. Wait, not Quavo. Oh shoot. What's his name?
Take off. It's okay. Blooper.
Blooper. You know, they actually had
Migo. Oh, Migo.
The wrong picture too.
Yeah, they did. Migo. He's from Memphis. Heavy camp. So Yo Gotti and them. So I work with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's good. So you do have an extensive portfolio.
Yes.
With, you know, some people that is very known with a clean name, and you still can use that portfolio because I mean it was a season in your life. So
even the acting, I acted. I did a movie called Savage Revenge on TV. Even with that, I did things in the movie because I'm gonna tell you what it's giving. It's giving Players Club and State Property.
Okay.
If you know that movie, you know.
Yes.
So for me, you know, I was seen and showing, and I look back, I'm like, oh no.
But that was just era.
But it's okay. It's okay. I'll never do it again though. But
because you're in a new season. Right. But that was an era like grace. Allow yourself some grace.
Yeah. So.
You gotta allow yourself some grace. Because I mean, you be out here being an evangelist, pastor, and that was that season you did that. You in this new season, so can't nobody hold something of your past against you.
No.
So yes,
I'm glad I did because, like I said, it made me who I am today.
Exactly, you got a lot of experience and lessons, and you know a lot you can take from that experience, the gifts of someone else because you've been there.
Right.
I love that. So, are you a manifester? Do you manifest things, and what have you manifested?
I speak things. I talk to God. I pray for things, and I know if it's not for that season, it might be for the next season. I just want the things He wants for me, and the things He don't want for me, I don't want those because it's obviously not for my good. So you know, sometimes I'll think that, but it really don't be. And then He'll be like, okay, you'll see why at the end. Like, and when you move on, you'll see why I didn't want that for you. So I guess I pray for things, but if it's not that time, it's not that time. But not saying you won't get it. But
exactly.
So
I guess when I be on here, I be saying manifest. It's like when things manifest in your life that you have prayed for. Because I manifest things that I prayed for. Right. For lack of better words. Right. I love how you put that. Don't be right here just like, I don't include God now. Because it got to be through Him. Like,
invite Him in first.
God,
invite Him in.
If it's for me, if it's not, don't let it.
It ain't for you. It's something better.
You got to be mindful with that because that's just like the prodigal son. You know, he got the blessing before it was time, and then
you mess it up.
Right. So you got to make sure that you've been intentional with your prayers for those things to manifest in your life in alignment with His will. So that's what I was.
Premature anything, you might mess it up. You don't want it too early. You want to mold it. You want God to mold you first, and then when it's ready and you strong enough to receive it, then you'll know when.
Yes. So it can be right on
time. It can be right.
So, are there any books? Because we're about to close up, you all. About to wrap it up. Are there any books you recommend or reading during this season? Or are you a book girl? Or
I am.
Okay.
I do read books. Oh my gosh, I forgot what the book called. The lady who was by. I forgot when I read it. I totally forgot. But it's her name. I don't know her name, y'all. She got a big smile. She's African American. She got a calling in her life, but she's an actress. Also, Tina T. She got a big smile, pretty smile. But I totally forgot. It's in my card, the book, but I forgot. Y'all, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. You said she's an actress.
She's an actress. She have a husband. Her and her husband have a podcast. And Tabitha.
Oh, I was just gonna say it.
Tabitha
Brown.
Tabitha Brown reading her book. I forgot what the book is called. It's the Soul Story. It's called something.
Okay.
And that's what I'm reading.
I love Tab. Because that's your business, girl.
Yes. I think her gifts and whoo.
Yeah, she's just. That's a sister that's
I can understand her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's walking in purpose.
Yes.
So, what is something you would like to tell the audience today, and share with someone, whether it's a young lady or a young man, so that they can just get on that path to purpose and live, live their lives and within themselves and not be worried about the outside.
Okay, so what I want to tell y'all is take your hand off your life. Let God direct you. Let God direct your purpose. Stop trying to be your own creator and author of your